stuff.
I am over 40. I don't know what that means.
Yes, you do.
No, I know, I
I'm over
really
40,
don't.
you
Okay, I'm
know
over
what it
45.
means.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
All right, everyone approves the minutes?
yes.
Yes,
Great.
With a misspelling, but that's okay.
I saw the misspelling at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you can live with that.
Border.
All right,
Border.
so our agenda was very general
Yeah.
to
Okay.
have updates.
Sure.
So, Trevor, do you have any updates?
No.
Where are we?
And motion to adjourn anytime.
Sure, we'll see you in a year.
Uh,
No, let's see, so I'm gonna sound like a broken record, I'll pass this over to Alex in a bit here. But, we have a lot moving, there's been a lot going on in this time that we haven't been here. Leary Lot, Elm Street, Cumberland Farms building lot, and trying to work with DOT. We have not met with DOT in about a year because we don't have any data. We're waiting on our engineer who has finished all of the asset management for the sewer and stormwater for most of the town, at least in this, we got a grant to get the camera work done. So that is done. We're just waiting for the asset management plan, which I think is supposed to be February.
Oh,
But I think we're pushing them to at least give us parking and Sugarloaf sooner. We just need to know what status that infrastructure is so that then we can meet with we're all set to meet with DOT, Joe Comerford, Natalie, about Sugarloaf Street, get either taking it over or having them kind of do some work. And we also need to meet with them. And I just talked to Jason Kishik, who's doing the project at Cumberland's, and he is trying to meet with them as well because he's building a building and they own that street. So
they own that street.
DOT
the
owns,
town,
yeah,
Yeah.
DOT owns.
DOT, yeah.
Yeah, no, they own right up to the stop sign and then
Some by.
own park and then down to
Okay.
Conway Street
But they
here.
did go through the pipes.
What's that
They
again?
did go through the
Yeah,
pipes and they know
They
the
cambered
condition.
all the pipes.
Do we know the condition of the pipes on Park
That's what
Street?
we're waiting for.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's-
that's what
Oh, yeah.
No, I know, we've been haranguing them. I literally just left
Bated
another
breath.
message with them today about like so many things in town are relying on this thing, that we need to have this as soon as possible.
Mm,
There's a lot of
Yep.
other, but,
Who is they? When
uh,
you say they, who do you mean?
well,
Yeah, but who at
DPC,
Oh,
well,
when you say
DPC, well, I say they that we're waiting on is David Prickett Engineering does all of our sewer engineering. And also secured 2 grants for us this year, an asset management plan grant for our stormwater and a second grant for our wastewater infrastructure. So with those grants, they were about a $250,000 grant. We could not do you can't get everything done in that. So we did like the most important areas. We kind of singled out Elm Street because we were going to be working on that. We singled out Sugarloaf and Park because that was super important to do. But we're just
Not at all.
waiting for that data, the pictures of the manhole, conditions of the pipes, all of that stuff. Once we have that, we can forward it to Bow and talk with everybody at DOT and then set up a meeting to say, here's the condition. And we have a lot of things to talk with DOT about. There's a lot happening with Stillwater, North Bridge.
Yeah.
A lot of different things going on. The rotary at possible rotary or intersection improvements at Mill Village Road. So a lot of things are going on, but that really we're waiting on that data to be able to move forward on this stuff. But in the meantime, Alex, maybe talk about what else
Yeah.
we're doing around all of this.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Well, the other news too on the DOT front is that we have a $2 million bond bill earmarked too from the transportation bond bill. But it has to all go through this DOT process. And so we
Right.
have to negotiate that part too. So there may be some additional money down the line,
Right.
but that infrastructure, the underlying infrastructure could be, way more than $2 million
Right.
to repair.
Yeah,
So that's why we're kind of like, that is the hinge point for that.
Yeah.
But we are not,
but that
yeah.
was exciting to find
Right.
out too, that like, cause nobody knew about it. We
right.
didn't know that Joe Comerford put into the transportation bond bill a $2
That's
million for Deerfield. For
DOT
well,
didn't even know, so
DOT
it wasn't
didn't
even
even
like
know.
just.
And
Joe.
it doesn't mean that money is sitting there in a pile of money. It means that they've authorized it and it's passed that we could then go and bond. The state could then
Right.
go bond for it. It says it's Deerfield's, but it really isn't. It's DOT's money to go borrow
Right.
to get that done. But at least that is it. Because
in there.
before they were like, we don't have any money, and hey, there's this bond bill going on. I remember many meetings about this,
Yeah.
but now there's at least a pot of money to be able to facilitate whatever infrastructure that needs to get done so that the town could take over these pieces of property and have them. I mean, if the town wants to do that, residents and everybody, but we will have a lot more access. But all of that is kind of attached to everything else we're doing too.
Yeah.
Alex, are you the person in touch with DOT now, or is it you? Who's the contact?
Oh, Alex is
Been
the Alex.
coordinating
Yeah.
everybody together, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and there's this question about, apparently, from my understanding, DOT wasn't really amenable to really talking with us 2 years ago when we were doing this, but that has sort of warmed up a little bit. Is that true?
Yeah, they
I think so.
they were talking with us and always meeting with us, but they again at that time didn't have any money, so now we have this authorization. They also have been like, look, take it or leave it,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
hey, you shouldn't be parking here, and oh, if you want us to do anything, you might as well take over the property. And we're like, well, we don't know what the
Okay.
so there was a lot of pushback and forth, I think, just playing poker as to who's gonna take responsibility for these roads going forward. And then we had the parade and hey, guess what? They paved and they did sidewalks and all of that was out of the blue. Like we had no idea any of that was gonna
Really?
happen. And then
Yeah.
right before the parade, like boom, they did these sidewalks and they did, so that was really great. So they must have found a chunk of money, leftover money in a year to do that. So, but they did stop paving like way down Sugarloaf and,
Yeah,
they have left all of that to be determined. And really, I mean, I think I shared that many meetings ago, but we had our plan from Jeff to kind of say, hey, this is where we think crosswalks would be. And then DOT looked at it and said,
no,
No.
they're not gonna do it.
these aren't happy, we're not happy with the distances of these. So Val kind of drew up what he would like to see, which was about 500,000 worth of work. And we said, well, that's great, go ahead and do it. And they were like, not really interested in doing that. We're just telling you should do this.
What was the
So-
primary difference in what he wanted the crosswalks from what we had?
Do we have that from Val?
I don't know that I have that.
I
I haven't
think
met
I
with
should
him,
track
but
He's
it
saying
down.
that
Okay.
it's too far.
I was gonna
There
say, I
is-
can track that.
There
It
was,
wouldn't be a huge
it really
project.
had to do a little bit further up the road, in front of the new,
The brew pub?
Larry Lot,
group,
right?
yeah, in front of the bank and stuff,
Oh.
because there's a bus stop there,
Yeah.
and so they.
Wait, which bank? Bayfield Savings Bank or the?
No,
old
By the
bank?
side.
the old bank,
Yeah,
the
right.
The brew
by
pub.
Ken's place,
Yeah,
yes, exactly,
okay.
the new brewery.
Oh, yeah, there's a.
Former
yeah.
art bank.
Counties.
Former art bank,
The old-
exactly.
Not the new bank, the old bank.
The old bank, and the Giving Tree Circle thingamajig, so that, they had some plans to kind of do that and calm down Park Street a bit and then
So horrible.
maybe talk about
Yeah, yeah.
what you wanted to do, because
Yes,
this
tell
group
us.
was
Oh,
really, would
goodness.
have been really excited if that had happened, but
Wait, the
Well,
closure
the
part?
closure
Yeah,
part.
okay. Well,
I think I heard Pam too.
yeah,
But-
sorry, Pam, go ahead.
Pardon?
I thought I heard you trying to talk.
Yes, I did. I wanted to ask Trevor, does this have to go to town meeting again for a vote on any of this? Or is it pretty much,
Well, I
pro-
can, there's a
pro forma.
couple of questions there, so. Our authorization to spend money is gonna crash out this coming June. From CPA,
Right.
that's from the
So-
money that we got, the 300,000 from
that's
the,
right.
yeah,
So
okay.
we may have to, we can ask, I don't know if we can ask for another extension.
Mhm.
Or we're gonna just go and if we can't get something off the ground by June, which I don't know.
Yeah,
It seems kind of early to be able to do that, but maybe not. It seems crazy to
'cause
say
10
that after
years is
10 years,
like
it seems
not-
kind of crazy,
I
but
think it's 12 now.
12 years.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
mhm,
if we lose that authorization, I would definitely put another article on, and I
Right.
think the town would support us knowing all the work we've done. I would be
Yeah.
surprised if CPA would say, no, you can't do this again. It's just that we're running up against this. Kathy Sylvester keeps saying like, hey, use it or lose it, use it
Yeah.
or lose it, but I don't think they have any concept of all the things that are slowing us down. The other things that we may have to go back to town meeting for accepting, if we were gonna accept those roads from DOT, that would have to go to town meeting. So there's
Yeah.
some things that might have to go to town meeting, but for the work that we have already funded, if we could get something off the ground sooner, we wouldn't have to go back to town meeting.
yeah. I'd hate to lose that 300,000 we worked so
Yeah,
hard for.
Yeah,
Before we hear from Alex, because that could be really nice, whatever it
Mhm.
is, so let's go to the stuff that might not be.
Fun stuff.
Just looking at the minutes that we just approved, there were some things in here, if you don't mind, can we take 1 minute to see if
Sure.
these things happen?
Mhm.
It says, the complete streets, okay, trees will be planted in those little boxes, they're really looking good, aren't they? And parking will be optimized, did parking get optimized?
Well,
Because the word out on the street is that we're not gonna do that angled parkings. That
Correct.
is so dangerous, when you back out, you're gonna get hit by somebody like I almost did yesterday.
mhm.
So it doesn't seem like it's been optimized, right?
well,
She's
what-
good at it.
Oh, is that it?
yeah, I don't- I don't-
Well,
That is part of it.
I'll go to the rest. Okay, good.
Yeah, okay, what else you got?
Did the Memorial Day Committee, they wanted the opportunity to provide feedback, did they ever do that?
No,
Hmm.
not ready for it yet, but
But did
yeah,
anybody even contact them and say, okay, all right,
I don't think we've.
And-
done with them yet. Yeah.
okay,
That's John Says, is he still doing it?
No, John retired, but Fred Becta, I think is.
Okay,
Fred Becta and Paul Olszewski are both
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of doing that
Yeah,
together, co-chairing, I think.
okay, then I guess that was all I wanted to
Yeah,
check.
What about,
Thank you.
it says of Christopher, he will ask Jeff to rework the design with the current crosswalks in mind. We will also ask for an updated estimate.
I don't
We
think.
didn't get an
I don't
updated
think we
estimate
did
yet
get
or have
anything
that.
from them yet. I
Yeah.
think we kind of just said, well, until we figure out this ownership thing.
We were gonna meet a month later because they were gonna have a meeting with DOT and then it got canceled.
So,
Yeah.
right? Well, I think we're gonna wanna rethink that anyway, because it's too much hardscaping, really, now that we're all thinking in a
I
more
think so,
green
too.
way.
It's nice that it's kind of mellowed for a little bit. We
Yeah.
can relook at it and say,
Yeah,
do we truly want all this?
I don't want all that stone, so,
And looking, I think about.
not that matters, but.
I think the other thing to think about too is a lot of select board members and others kind of came together to weed the Leary lot this year.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Holy mackerel. We should think about really how we do this stuff because the maintenance of just that small little area is a ton of work.
hmm,
It's
I
just,
agree.
think about long and hard about what we put in and what we want to maintain.
Yep,
One of the things that was brought into this proposal that didn't make the final cut, that I feel like if we're in a place where we can change some of the priorities, should be at the top of the list, is figuring out how to make the irrigation system
Yep.
serve the people that have been taking care of the plants on the common
Yeah,
for all this time.
The
That could
women's
really be a
club.
priority because it's harder and harder to get volunteers.
absolutely.
And
right.
if we have a
Right.
beautiful perennial bed that's that's
Mhm. Not
whatever
so
the
much
word
weeding.
is,
Yeah, yeah.
that takes care of itself with the timers and whatnot, that would be a huge
I
help.
agree with that for sure. That it is important. I know that the women's club has been doing a lot on their work and
yeah.
they would love to have some irrigation instead of lugging around the hose all the time.
Okay, so do we wanna talk about the common, or do we wanna?
I think she needs to.
Yeah.
I think let's hit on a couple of things. The park street
Yeah.
thing that you would try
Okay.
to do
Here, I'll pull it off
and
of
then
here.
move on.
Yeah.
This is tiny. So essentially, this is a grant application floating around. I'll just show you guys so you could see it at least for a second. But essentially, it's a closure of Park Street with landscaping, if that's helpful.
oh,
And it's all the whole intent of this grant program is it's actually almost like an experiment is probably the best way to look at it.
Mhm.
And so all of the treatments that they proposed in this plan are temporary and that, 90% of it, like the blue and the crosswalks and stuff, it's all paint, right? So you can always remove paint. The Park Street would be closed off with landscaping plants, and some like blockades and stuff. So
Like they did in Greenfield.
Yeah, what they do in Clark Street, Court Street, where you can't drive through,
So
but
it's temporary.
it's all
like-
temporary. just
yeah.
to
Right, yeah.
see
right.
If it makes sense to do long term.
Right. So it's an experiment. So they would collect data in the front end of the project, implement, we would do a full design phase. Like this was just like a, a handful of meetings and a sketch. Like there'd be public engagement and outreach and there would be design.
Mhm.
And then we'd implement and then we'd deploy it for 6 months and put out the same counters in the same areas for vehicles and traffic and, anecdotal comments of how people feel about it and, and see how it goes and if we like it. But we would get to keep a lot of the flashing beacons for at least all the crosswalks and stuff. So that would be a good
Mhm.
improvement. And then, like I said, it's paint. Like so we
Yeah.
can move things, rip it out if people hate it. It's pretty
What do you mean?
low
What
impact.
do you mean it's paint?
Like the
So
blue.
all this
Yeah,
blue
right.
would just be painted on. So like it is removing some of the parking, like on the
I see what
on
you-
Sugarloaf
yeah.
side of the common,
Mhm.
and it would be separating kind of like this giant asphalt piece that
Mhm.
kind of is like honestly quite a hazard if
It
you're trying
really
to take
is.
a left from Grave Street
Or
on the
trying to
Sugarloaf.
cross.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I
Terrible.
don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So you think people won't drive over that nice paint?
Well, so then there's also the little white dots are like those plastic
Oh,
bollards,
yeah, yeah,
that are
yeah.
usually on bike lanes and like yes, you
Yeah.
can run straight over them. So like yeah, we'll probably
Lose
get some
What do
extra
they call them?
There's
The
something.
underpass or?
Right, right.
What do
Yeah,
they-
that means.
yeah.
There's some name for it, like with paths that people create that aren't
Yeah,
like through the dirt.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there will be some of that for sure. But it's all like a treatment and experiment, and that's why there's data before and after.
Bad
And,
idea.
and it's a
See,
grant
okay.
application.
Yeah.
And it's a federal grant application to
Yeah.
add
So,
even more to
probably not
that
gonna happen.
narrative.
Yeah.
But
We have no idea.
Really nice about that. I keep hearing people saying, well, we're gonna lose all that parking and that's not good. And then people say, well, we have the Leary lot. But I also honestly hear a lot of people
Mhm.
say, when I say, oh, we're gonna put the deer on the common and then get common so little. Or I
Mhm.
hear that people say, it's not really a common, it's so small. And I'm like, well, that's good to hear. So if we do
could
expand it,
Mhm.
then
Right.
that and you go, so maybe it'll have a little more
Mhm.
acceptance than we think it will.
Or
Yeah, because
people-
the businesses are gonna be angry. about it.
Yeah, well, and we could see like, is this truly like if everybody like, this is ridiculous?
Yeah.
One thing I think about a lot too, because as I talk to chief and superintendent. With North Street Bridge out,
Oh,
Oh,
all the traffic that comes through the center of town at school
Oh,
let out
mhm.
and drop off.
Yeah.
It's a mayhem.
It
I'm
is.
surprised no one's gotten killed yet, but chief is out there every morning directing
Mm.
traffic, trying to
Oh,
get
boy.
things moving. So I talked to Darius a little bit today about doing a traffic study. I mean, we have like about 160 school choice kids come the frontier. That's a large number of kids coming into the community, and mostly parents are dropping them off or they're parked on the side of the road. But
yeah.
the only reason I bring that up is that all that traffic has to come through the center of town.
yeah.
When we start working on Elm Street,
Oh, boy.
really tough.
There's gonna be no way to get in or out.
We've
Well,
got
That's
we've got
not
Conway
really
and-
true. We can route people out towards the end of South Main Street and make them go around onto 5 and 10.
correct. Gonna have to be thoughts about how do we do that, or get
ask a
them
question?
through Conway Street, take a right on Conway. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Kate.
Yeah, so I just want to understand what we're talking about here. So I saw the drawing and
Yeah.
I understand this is what you're saying. It's like an experiment to
Yeah.
collect data to find out about long-term planning for the
Mhm.
town center and the streets and the traffic pattern. Do I get that
Yes.
correctly? Okay. Thank you.
Yep, yep, just to kind of, that was one grant application we tried for, didn't get, but we thought we would try again, right?
Well, yeah, we've actually never tried for this one, at least. that
Oh,
I-
okay. All right.
But this is actually a partnership with FERCog in the city of Greenfield.
Mhm.
So FERCog is the lead applicant, the city of Greenfield, and us were the experiments, if you will.
I see.
And so they have their own little treatment they want to do by the bus station, where their offices are also located. And so it is all about accessibility and pedestrian safety and like making sure people are visible. So that's why there's a lot of emphasis on the crosswalks and extending some of the corners at the intersection out with that blue paint,
Mhm.
because then it provides more visibility as people are trying to walk. You know, like you're not playing
Right.
Frogger almost
Yeah.
like you are in front of Cheslick's right now,
Yeah.
like in between all the cars.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
when there's
And
trucks,
Frogger,
yeah, well, you know, like you're
Yeah.
trying to dart out behind trucks parked or cars parked on either
Yeah.
side, and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
traffic slamming on their brakes.
Would FERCog be managing this?
They'd be administering it, but then they would be getting a consultant that would actually do all the
That's
design.
good.
And so like, you know, it'd be a weird partnership of sorts,
What
but
kind
there was
of-
no cost to the town to do it, and there's no
So
cost
much
there.
money.
So
I
Yeah.
think it's great. I think it's
Mhm.
really fabulous to the idea of doing an experiment and collecting data and trying it out and let people try it out because it's so hard to visualize things. And
yes.
who can argue with an experiment? I love this.
Everybody.
Well, comments otherwise so far, but
Okay.
yeah.
How
but I
long is the
appreciate it.
bridge gonna be out before it's rebuilt?
We
Blake,
don't
how
have
long is the
an
bridge gonna be?
answer on
Well,
that
they
one.
told us they're gonna tear it out.
They're
but
gonna tear it
nothing
down.
about rebuilding it.
Yeah, when is
But
DOT
that's
or
right,
is
it's
that
been
the
hillside and North
train?
Hillside
What's that?
Road.
Is that
'cause
DOT that
pavement
does that, or is
barely
that the
behind.
train?
It's
I think
horrible.
it's DOT,
Yeah.
it's their bridge,
Right.
but
They have to work
train,
with the
state
railroad.
train
It's awful.
is what's holding it up because one of the things they wanna do is make sure that Amtrak with their double deckers coming through can get underneath the thing. That was the last I heard. And I
Oh.
don't think there was any problem with it before. Because they were bringing double deckers through and they did make it through there, so. I
Oy.
can't see that as a problem, and they were talking about existing structure instead of trying to redesign it and that sort of thing, so I think that's, we stand as it just replacing it, and then, you know, then we get, yeah, it's gonna happen, then we go, well, no, it's not gonna happen.
Under the bridge?
Yeah,
Yeah,
It didn't have any
Yeah.
dedicated
Bridge.
funding.
you're taking it out, I think, very
Right.
soon.
Yeah.
but we don't know
Yeah.
when they're gonna put it
Correct.
back in.
Correct.
So yes, we're just gonna have to navigate it as out until it's
Wow.
actually
What
Wow.
federal-
Well,
what part of our federal government is this grant coming from?
this grant.
Yeah.
Federal Highways Administration. So we'll see.
Yeah, a little more positive than something else, but then again, you know, we are a blue state,
So-
so.
the other thing is when that bridge goes back in again, there still will be restrictions on trucks going over that bridge.
So
Ah,
we're gonna
true.
have
So you're still gonna have-
Hillside be damaged.
Yep.
It's so horrible to drive on it. It's like
Right.
it's ruining my car.
Right.
I'm gonna have to like
Trying to.
have the town pay for my car now.
That's something to reroute them so that they're, no trucks allowed on Hillside. I think we can do that.
Yeah, we can. You can
I
do
think we
it.
should
Yeah.
do that because
Traffic
you're right,
food.
you're
It's
absolutely right.
horrible.
It's horrendous.
It's
I mean,
too dangerous.
you've been over the patches they did on the
South-
south side, but that whole section they did, it's great, but then you get off the new stuff and you're back at it.
At it.
So our
It's awful.
our roads and our sidewalk asset management plan is also being done right now too. So that
Mhm.
will help us, I'm sure.
Yeah,
We're all fairly confident at the town hall that it will rise to the top.
Well,
Yeah.
but you're gonna also hear this, because that's where I live, right? And we have a
Right.
really strong neighborhood group,
Right.
and we all get together and talk about everything. And the potholes are horrible, but when they
Yeah.
pave it. But when they pave it, people are gonna go so fast, it's gonna be so
right.
dangerous.
I know.
And in one of the
Double-edged-
potholes, I'm like,
Double-edged, yeah,
this is horrible.
yep.
So,
Um,
good luck.
yeah.
So that's
It's very-
one project that, we're looking at.
That
Right.
would be fun.
Right.
The next, do you want to update?
Yes, let's keep going.
Let's
with
keep
fun
going on
things.
just items that we're working on. that
Okay.
Affect this.
Do you want to
So-
do complete street? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
Time frame.
For this project,
Yeah.
I think we were supposed to know sometime this winter, before spring, like
That'd be
February,
great.
March was kind of like the timeline roughly.
Thank you so much.
Did this-
It's federal though,
yeah.
so like,
Government stays open.
yeah, they lost 45 days, so I'm not really sure
Does this
They gotta-
I'm gonna
incorporate,
put spring 2027.
There you go, there you go.
I'm not seeing anything specific referring to extending the bike lanes from Sugarloaf Street over to 5 and 10,
No.
or the other bike lanes over here. Is that something that one
We could
can
have put
safely
in.
assume that that would be put in somehow?
Well, hopefully through like public engagement and the whole design process. There's like an 8-month design timeline added into the grant. So it's like a 2-year grant because
Okay.
you have to like, you have to do data collection and do some design and back and forth, and then you have to implement and then do more data collection. So it's a long experiment, but I think the commitment to implement and to have it in place is like 3 months. So that's the
That's so
minimum.
great.
But you could do
Wow.
more or less or
That will solve the
whatever.
traffic nightmare right away in terms of speed.
Right,
It will create another traffic nightmare in terms of less people being able to use North Main Street. but
Correct.
Hopefully they'll get over it and just start going around town
yeah,
if they don't have business in town.
right,
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. But we can talk complete streets.
Yeah.
'Cause that's probably the
Yeah.
next big one. And complete streets or the Elm Street project. That one, I'm guessing you guys are all pretty familiar with it, but this one's been around. I don't think I have a way to show you very well. But essentially, it's the Complete Street project is from the railroad all the way down Elm Street to the main Sugarloaf and the Common intersection. There, that stretch, I guess, is what it's best described as. And so it is a reallocation of parking, I guess. I don't know, optimization, whatever word you want to use to
Optimization is what we
describe
had,
it.
yeah.
It is we're gonna be, getting rid of all the angled parking on the north side
Yay.
of Elm Street. But hopefully people just start parking in the Leary lot. I mean,
yeah,
I haven't seen that
No.
nearly full or ever.
Right.
full.
Well, you're all still angry about it, so give them some time to get over it.
Right. And so I think one of the other big improvements too, so there'll be 10-foot sidewalk on the north side, which will replace a lot of the space that the angled parking took up, and then a 5-foot landscape buffer. And, we still have some more design work to do, and then there'll still be parallel parking on both sides of the street. But there'll actually be an accessible parking spot on the street, which will actually be kind of nice because there's really not any accessible parking down there at all, actually, like signed and actually striped,
right, right,
and to get to like those businesses on the south side of Elm Street, it is actually like, even a further walk, even if you
Yeah.
parked in the Leary lot. So,
Where are the tree boxes that you guys put in?
well, so
You
we're
gonna
not
rip those
sure
babies out?
how they'll fit because
Yeah.
so in order to get
Not to do those.
hey.
in order to get the
Talk
accessible,
to Carolyn. Yeah.
in order
A
to
lot more.
Just by what you just said. I liked you, but now I like you a lot more.
So, in order to get this road, because of how old it is, because of the way that there's so many driveways that poke
Yeah.
out, because of, trying to hit accessible sidewalk grading. So, access paths have to have, a relatively gentle slope to them. They can be slopes to like slick rain water and stuff, but they can't be, what it is currently.
Yeah,
In order to meet all these grades across this entire stretch of the road to hit both sidewalks and to make sure the drainage actually goes into its certain places, we have to have the landscape buffer, and it's going to take some intermediate, high and low points across the entire pavement area.
I don't know
So
what that means.
it just means that they're gonna grade the road a little bit, so it'll be a little like wavy probably when you drive over it a little bit, but it'll help keep all the water into the storm water and not pooling in our sidewalks and cracking
You mean across
Yeah,
the road, so
across
that's
the road. It should be subtle enough that you won't feel it necessarily, but it's
interesting.
it's because of how flat it is and like where everything is placed in order to like make sure stormwater is not just
Okay.
pooling and causing more cracking and maintenance issues for us long term. Like the landscape buffer is required, and because like all the businesses, right? If you think about when you walk down the street on the north side, like some are level with the sidewalk, some have a couple steps,
Yeah.
some are like at a weird slope, some are set back, like
Yeah.
to meet all those needs. We need to, yeah, and there's 2 levels of, at least curbing and pavement, and so we're not really sure what even we're gonna dig into. So, It's probably gonna be a 4 to 6 month construction window. I've been saying 6 is probably the more likely. And
This is
so
starting when?
next summer. But I'd say the other big improvement too is that we're also doing a mid-block crosswalk. So where the Leary lot exits and crosses Elm Street, there'll be another bigger, slightly bumped up and raised crosswalk there. So it improves pedestrian visibility.
But isn't that where that thing comes in that you almost run over all the time that they, what do you
Oh,
call it?
like the railroad kind
Yeah,
of
that,
like
yeah, like I never even
No.
see it at night.
So it's further kind of in front of Hamshaw.
Oh,
like
okay.
down here. This is it in yellow back.
So there's
And
gonna
it
be
kind of
that
comes-
bump out, so it's gonna narrow traffic there, and then you're gonna come
Right.
up in front of Hamshaw, and then you're gonna have to navigate around that little triangle thing that
Right.
you can't see.
Right.
Be fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So the
Like a war, it's like an obstacle course, you
That's
know,
right.
the waves,
You
the bump,
take the driving
and the
test.
triangle.
Yeah.
this
You can't
This
slow
is
down
fine.
speeding and not have some of this stuff.
before,
Can't have
Yeah.
everything.
The railroad.
is that something that's being negotiated still or fought about? Or is
What's
that
that?
a done deal? It's not gonna
What's the
happen?
question?
And another project, probably we could look at that, but to go across the railroad, it is
Right.
quite difficult. Which is
Federal.
like the
Right.
whole nexus with the bridge
Why-
and this
what-
whole area and everything.
What's the question? I
question?
didn't understand.
Well, the sidewalk as it comes from the center of
Right.
town
Oh,
out towards
yes.
5 and 10
Yep.
just is gonna end pretty much when you get
At
to
Railroad
Railroad Street and bike lanes or anything, that's the other question.
It gets
Ed.
terrible.
Is that,
Right.
is the sidewalk, the 10-foot sidewalk, multiple, it's
Yeah. Shared
be
use
used by
path,
everybody.
but yes,
so it will
bikes
be
and
marked
everybody.
though that bicycles are allowed on the path and people will know that they're
We
gonna-
could do that. It's not currently, I mean, these are like 20% design, so like
Yeah,
we have a
a
lot
lot of
more
work.
design and engagement to go through.
Don't worry, he'll continue to
But-
remind you about the bike
yeah.
path. That's his
Yeah.
thing.
Well,
No, you should.
No, it's fair.
You should.
it won't happen if
Right.
If you, that's
You
right.
don't keep on it.
Yeah.
The other thing is we're looking at parking on Railroad Street. We own
Yes.
that lot where those cars are.
This lot that like Hamshaw generally parks in right against the railroad. Sorry, narrating mostly.
Yeah.
for
Yeah, yeah,
my
yeah.
own sake. But yeah, we own this part as well.
Oh.
And we have 1.5 million now because we were able to leverage that 500,000 from Complete Streets into another $1 million grant. So we might be able to do this as an alternate. We're gonna at least bid it out and throw it
Yeah.
out there
Yeah.
and get some cost estimates. So like if it can't go in this project, then maybe another project.
But when you think about doing that, you're gonna tree it between the railroad and wherever you're gonna park over here on Railroad Street. I mean, this is not gonna be-
a little bit
this is not
gonna
be
nicer,
asphalt and stuff.
separation.
Right, we
Okay.
want to look nice. Yeah, and then.
But we
have
also
some
just
green
don't
up-
wanna have even more heat hanging there
Mhm.
Yeah.
beside
Yeah.
barbecue.
I mean,
place.
it's paved now, I think,
It's
or
fielding.
it's
like a-
it's
it
all
used to be
broken up.
paved.
Yeah, broken up pavement.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah. Yeah,
They
they do.
I think-
used it.
Yeah, we just have it. Hamshaw's always used.
Used to have like a pop-up festival or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
You know, that's the idea is
We
that,
close off Park Street.
right,
Not
exactly.
Street.
Yeah, I know.
farmer's market right there.
Right?
Can't just
Yeah.
see it.
Well, and,
So often.
and you know, like,
Our
long
vision will
term.
have gotten so bad by the time this happens. We're not gonna see. That's funny. I didn't know
So-
that was owned by.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know
Well,
if there used to be
right.
an old station there or something.
Yeah, there was.
There was, yeah,
Yeah.
back in the day,
What
yeah.
kind of station?
Like a real train
On-
station.
right
Yeah,
on
there was a
the-
stop for a pickup, yeah.
It wasn't on the other side.
Oh, I thought it was that
I thought
building
it was
just
on the
north
other
of it.
side.
That was they stopped at that for grain and feed and everything else, but there was a station where you could get on and off.
Yeah.
Just
Sure.
tickets
And
out
that's
there.
what that was.
Yeah.
Oh, I always thought it was. on
I
the
still
other
have
side.
one of was a trolley that they had on the deck of the grain one, was all metal and had a wooden
Oh,
deck on it. Wooden deck's gone and all I got is all these metal pieces and I'm sitting there going, I don't know how to do this stuff. They gave it
Yeah.
to me and I'm like, I
Wow.
think I'm gonna be able to do this.
Goodness, yeah.
Old history.
But it would be nice if I get somebody to put it together.
Well, We've
that'd
been
be cool.
trying to get
Right.
Hamshaw to kind of do their building, but that still, I don't know if they're,
I
Yeah.
don't think
about
the
the-
business is looking that good.
I know, so I don't know
There's
what's
Yeah.
happening there.
Yeah.
a lot of things have been stopped because of what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
Right.
Just can't.
everybody's waiting to see what's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Right.
Yep, yep.
So the other thought too is that
Good.
with the extra money is if we have enough to do it all, we'd like to also continue the sidewalks from the corner of like Leo's and Cheslick's, in
Yeah.
front of Cheslick's to connect to the Leary lot. So that way, when you enter, exit the Leary lot, whether you go, from Elm or up Main, you actually have an accessible connected sidewalk to the accessible parking on that side, which
Right.
would also make a lot of
Uh-huh.
sense.
And that
To
we
get
could-
done.
because that's complete streets,
Yeah.
because we own it. The
Right.
complete streets, we can't do anything on state stuff with complete street monies, but that little stretch we can.
Yeah.
What would the curbing be like there? Would it be
Granite.
like asphalt up to more nice asphalt or?
I want granite.
I know
We
you
learned
want-
from
That
Leary
doesn't
lot
really
that
last.
it's cement does not hold up.
Yeah.
And people hit it with plows and,
Good,
but I
One-
want granite
good,
curbing.
nice. Good,
One
good, good.
little bit of feedback, I walked that, the new sidewalk up, whatever, on North Main Street.
Mhm.
And where they made improvements on Sugarloaf Street. That's where I walk mostly,
Yeah.
so I'm very familiar with the problems, and
Yeah.
it's extremely unsafe what we did with the asphalt curbing over by the school. Because especially
The-
walking, if you walk at night, because
That's
You
right.
can't see it.
the sidewalk is asphalt and the curbing is asphalt, and the curbing is slanted. It's tapered off. It doesn't come to an abrupt end like
Mhm.
the granite, whatever those are called, the edging, whatever for.
Whereabouts do you
Yeah, like
mean?
curbing.
As you're getting towards the school where the new sidewalk is,
The high school? you
but
mean?
also on Graves, I think. I'm pretty sure on
Well,
Graves they
I know
have
what
the
you
same
mean.
thing.
It's like you can't tell where one is and where the next, you
Right.
can't tell where
You don't differentiate between the edging
Yeah.
and the slope and the actual sidewalk because it's all
Yeah.
asphalt.
Yeah, Graves was tough
Right.
because we just didn't have enough room, I think, on that one. But okay, good point to have.
to keep
bring
in
that
mind.
up.
Yeah, that was really.
Noted.
Gracie was all asphalt to begin with.
Yeah, it's just that
Graves was?
he's saying you don't really
What's that?
see,
Graves, yeah, it was.
you don't see
I
it.
lived on that street for 50 years.
Yeah, but you don't see the
You don't see the
definition. between
definition,
two,
right.
Right,
Right.
like an ankle twister, you mean?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Paint it.
Yeah, maybe. need-
got some blue paint here. I think
We got some blue paint.
Yeah.
Can we make
Paint on
it
it,
green
and
paint?
you got it, you're not
Yeah.
gonna change it right now.
Green is
Do
gonna
something
go-
that's
That would help. That would make it much safer.
safety,
Yeah.
you
Yellow
think
or
about the
white,
safety
yeah.
part.
Yeah.
From there.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a very easy request. Is that on the school side or the monument side?
On the school side,
School side.
but
Okay.
also on Graves. As soon as you turn down.
Right.
Graves.
That street's not big enough for that sidewalk. It never was.
Okay. Hmm.
Tiny on street.
Anyway, okay, so, and we might be able to go, I guess the most impactful potentially part of this project, the Complete Streets or Elm Street project is we might actually be able to do this entire intersection.
Mhm.
That's also on the table. So it would impact at least, the corner and curbing
Mhm.
of the common. And so that is kind of like one of the things I wanted to at least like give you guys a heads up now that I will be coming back with much more thorough design.
But why would we
Need
do
to
that
meet
on
again.
this side of
You
it
just
if it's
painting.
gonna change?
Well, so the paint, this is just a floating grant application, right? So we have no idea what the status of is. Elm Street is going to happen this coming summer.
Right.
So this may take off before we even touch the rest of
Okay.
the other parts of the
Got it.
common. I don't know, maybe the stars will align and it'll just poof and appear
Yeah.
like Sugarloaf.
Exactly.
Happen.
But, that is kind of what we're hoping, but if they have to be in different construction seasons, right? Like maybe Elm Street is this year and then this becomes next year or something. Then, we still at least want to be relatively cohesive when it comes to like,
Yeah.
the brick pavers and, the
Yeah.
benches
Yeah.
and some of the lighting and stuff. And
Yeah.
it should also be cohesive with like the Leary lot, which I think
Yeah.
a lot of it already kind of is similar. Like there were a lot of brick elements
Yes.
or are
Yeah.
currently in.
Trying to do everything like kind of matching in town.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Mhm.
talking with J2K about the new
Right.
building as well and how that. Have you guys seen the pictures? of
No.
that?
No.
Yeah, and another,
Bottom
yeah,
corner.
here, this one,
I
I've
was
got this
talking
one
about the
closer.
common.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, right.
A lot.
So
This is
that-
good.
Oh, wow.
This,
This is what.
Cumbers, that's
this
what
is
Cumbers
the
used to do.
former Cumberland.
That's kind of
current
different.
Take a picture of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's public. You can take that set if you want to.
That is
sorry.
nice.
I'm gonna show you guys. This is the current development plan for the former Cumberlands. And so there's a open awning. So that's what all those front pillars are. And then there'll be it's yeah, so it's a mixed use building. So there'll be two commercial tenants on the bottom. They're not sure who it'll be built to suit. An accessible dwelling unit. And then there'll be 12 on 2 floors above that residential units. So they're 1 bedroom and studio apartments.
Yeah.
And then they'll have parking on the adjacent lot because J2K, the developers actually own the adjacent lot with the pizza shop and the nail salon on it. And they own that whole parking lot behind it. So they'll be deed restricting parking likely tomorrow. They'll
Yes.
be getting that, and they're aware of that, and they're ready for that.
There's a little parking behind the building for the ADU and for
Yes.
deliveries and that kind of thing, but
Yeah.
Between the building and Wolfie's.
Right.
And then eventually they're gonna remodel the other building, either replace it or remodel it, the one that Primos is in.
Mhm.
And then they'll probably open up that back so that you could
Drive
drive
right
right
through.
through to the parking or have easier access. You don't have to walk around the front of the building after you park out back.
You know, this looks like it is so different from what we have now, but if you look at the old historic photos,
Yeah.
It was right up front.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I know, exactly.
this is not, that was too nice. This
It
is
is
Yeah.
really
nice.
pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not look,
Right.
I mean, this
It's
is
not
just
gonna look
a.
like that. I know, we make it look
conceptual,
pretty
but
like
it
that,
could be
but-
very similar
Yeah.
there. I like the little mansard kind of like.
Roof.
I
the
do
roof,
too. Makes it
Cause
look-
that brings back that building.
Yeah,
that used to
was
be
there
a Prague,
before.
And,
Which I never
And the
saw.
hot L, which
Yeah,
is
But
the-
they had two more.
Yeah, and we want
Top
more
of it
things to look
before
like the
it
hot
got-
L.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yellow.
This here, when Redmond's Hall was there, and there, it
Right.
had to have been 5 stories high.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
Redmond's
just, as a
was?
kid, you just look up and say, oh, my
Wow.
God, this thing is so big.
I don't-
And you had all those big, beautiful elm trees.
Yes.
So
I know.
pretty.
It's a-
Redmond's Hall.
There was a dance hall on
Yeah.
the top of it, and then there was
Right.
businesses down below it, and I'm not, I was a young kid, so I don't know exactly what was going on with it, but that thing burned down, and that's where the
Yeah.
spirit shop is.
Yeah.
Right, right.
So,
We need a dance hall.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, and this
Yeah.
is gonna be all of the greenery? Not much, huh?
Well, no, but
Gonna
they
be
did
Photoshop
actually
right on that corner.
intend to design it as like rain gardens, so it would actually capture and disperse some stormwater. from
Then
the
they should probably
building.
put some on the roof.
So-
You know, Yacht, did you see what Yacht's doing for the rooftop gardens?
Where's he doing that?
And down at Pioneer Gardens. And they're selling it all the new skyscrapers in New York have
Oh,
to have rain gardens on the
no
top.
kidding.
And it's all done with succulents. They are so
Really?
beautiful because
And
people
that's
want
what
to put their
Yup
little,
Yup is producing.
yeah.
No kidding.
yeah, I asked, he talked
Beautiful.
to me about that about a month ago, he was telling me. that was
Wow,
happening, so I was
that's
like,
best.
I mean,
interesting.
wouldn't it be wonderful if we could talk to, these
Mhm.
I like them because they kind
They're
of do
great.
look forward.
Yeah.
But we don't
Yeah.
have anything like that in town,
No.
and it would be really nice to, and he's right there.
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, and it really
I could
takes
mention
up,
it
I
to-
mean, I don't know if it fits, this is like not
Right.
real anyway, but wouldn't that be great if we could have that? It's a local grower, we could have that and do something that nobody else in this area is
Mhm.
doing.
Yeah.
And they are beautiful. You
Oh,
saw them, right? The colors they're tiny, they're mini
Yeah.
succulents and the
Yeah.
colors
But they
are
add some nice
beautiful.
color and stuff. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's nice.
And it's up on the roof.
This is
They could
already
do the-
done.
The other building, with the old pharmacy was,
Done, it's been built.
because that's a flat.
No, no, no.
They grow them and sell them.
But I think you have.
Oh, I thought you were saying
There's gotta be a
this roof
low-
was a rain garden.
Yeah.
They have to do.
It's
a
made
roof
for rain
height
gardens
it,
on roof.
and
Yeah, that's what they're
they
growing
can
the
look at
succulents
dirt
for.
and all this stuff.
In New York,
In New
not
York.
here.
Every new high, I don't know what you call them anymore, building in New York that is going to be either redone or newly built has to have I don't know, what do you call it?
Like
Not
a
a rain
green roof?
garden, but what do they
A
call
green
it?
roof?
A green
Yeah.
roof. Usually.
Yeah.
Steve Eltron has one
Who?
over in Hatfield.
Who?
Steve Eltron, the hot water heater place.
I didn't know that.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, for sharing
Yeah.
that.
so-
Yeah.
That's
But
exciting.
that kind of attaches, that's again, a sidewalk that is right across the street from
Right.
the common, so that's why the meeting with DOT is to kind of line up all of that, so when we do the intersection, we do this building. you know, we can kind of just get a consistency to all of this.
Yeah, that's a, thank you.
It's just a.
A lot more people living there that would benefit from a
Wouldn't that be
common that you could.
Great.
It's a little bit big,
Exactly.
and that you can sit on benches that don't push you off.
Yeah.
Maybe a gathering space.
I
So much
agree.
potential, even if it stays little, it's
Right.
so much potential.
think
I
so,
agree.
too.
Yeah.
Does anyone know whether there is a consequence that I'm not anticipating in terms of the area, the sea of asphalt?
Oh,
On
that-
Sugarloaf Street.
Yeah.
Say hypothetically, the experiment works, everybody's happy with the experiment, and we decide that we want the entire thing to be green space.
Mm.
So basically, there's just a four corners intersection in the center of town,
Yeah.
and all of that pavement is turned into,
Green.
grass and flowers and trees.
Yep.
In terms of the infrastructure beneath it, whether DOT gives, whether we end up owning Park Street or not, would the location of all the sewer covers and whatnot
Mhm.
being within green space be any different in terms of maintenance than whether it's
I don't think
under a
so.
road? It seems
I
like
think it's
it would be
either
even
way.
easier to
Yeah,
access.
yeah, right, exactly. You wouldn't have to jackhammer anything. You just dig up around whatever, but yeah, you might have some manholes in certain spots in that green space,
Yeah.
but I don't see, that wouldn't be a problem at all. I would just love to see more green downtown.
Do you
Yeah.
have dirt in order to have trees planted and thrive? Like, say, for instance, would that be great?
No,
if-
how.
Can you
deep
do that in
Like
that street?
6 feet or something?
Depends
I
on
mean,
where the utility.
Yeah, I mean,
You
little
don't wanna
pines,
put
you
it
don't care,
right
but-
over.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
so the green space is not gonna have big, beautiful trees because they're not
No.
gonna be able to have like 12 feet of dirt.
Right, but it could be, you know,
But are you talking about bringing up the asphalt on that?
like taking up the
Digging up the
asphalt
asphalt.
and.
You
Yeah.
can,
all of
you can
that.
take up the undercoating of it as well and
And
put
just
dirt
put
in there.
dirt
But
in
how
about
far
that.
down then is the infrastructure and all the super that's
Next.
It's usually 3 feet, 3 to
Yeah.
6, depending on how,
But
if it's a
this is
main
old.
or what.
if
Yeah,
it's any money, it's not
Probably
more than
3
3 feet.
Right, could be.
we should know.
It was the
Let's
old
get our
trolley.
sewer.
Yeah.
Find the old trolley tracks, the metal that went through and.
But
Oh, yeah.
I like that. That would be nice if we had much more greenery down there.
Right.
It is so hot
Agree.
there in the
It
summer.
is hot.
Maybe we could put grass and we could assemble your train.
Yes,
And-
there you go.
The
Probably the old
trolley
tracks.
could be right there. I mean,
And the kids could go like this. And
No, it's not.
They could go 15 feet this way.
It's,
No,
we
no,
don't,
we don't
things
wanna-
that go on the track.
Well, we can have one of
It
those.
was at the station, so it's got the metal wheels on it.
Yeah.
But it's to who?
Shelburne Falls Trolley Museum.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah,
that would be
yeah.
Love-
Yeah.
Never even thought of that.
Yeah.
They could rehab that.
They would love to, I'm sure. Yeah.
We
We could
don't.
actually be really historic and have green space there and then put our cows and our sheep on it.
There you go. Yep.
Wouldn't that be?
We
really
wouldn't have any
cool?
maintenance.
easier.
DOT would love it. They don't have to just.
How many cows and sheep do you have?
I don't have any, but I mean, that's what we use these comments for, right?
That's true.
You're
That'd
right.
be wonderful.
Used to.
Oh, if Only I could live as long as it's gonna take to do this.
Steve, can you go down the road and get the goats and down on, South Main Street and
Right.
trying to get in the Polish club?
Yeah.
Oh, we could grow.
Oh,
cucumbers.
boy.
Full factory.
There you go. I like it. And signage. Let's talk about something. You probably we're not really talking about our poor little common,
I know.
but
a
we
bit,
really
but
do need to have consistent signage all over town. And
Yeah.
why not start like right in the center?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Are you guys thinking about that?
Yeah, because we've also been talking with some of the downtown businesses, just as like an outreach that we could probably improve the signage for the Leary lot a little bit too before we
Yeah.
do this construction, because it might end up being, probably the main place for people to park and access their
Oh,
downtown
wow, working.
business.
Most, yeah.
And so, yeah, it might even be, like somewhat of a cut through or like a traffic flow area.
originally we wanted to talk with like
Johnny Figs.
Johnny Figs to kind of get walkways from the
I
Leary
know,
lot over to
into those
town.
businesses.
If they would allow us to kind of build a little walkway between the two. I think they all when we had the business owners one time at the meeting, I think they were open to that idea. we just want to be able to kind of get it instead of just having to walk all the way around. You could just cut through some of those buildings.
That'd be great.
J2K's parking lot.
Do we know how many people are living above those buildings there, that as far as apartments and what they?
We can easily get
Yeah,
that,
you
I'm
could get
sure.
that
I think that's something you should look at, because
Yeah.
the thing is, if you're looking at grant money and that sort of thing, I mean, you have to look at it as it's a private thing, it wouldn't be for the town, but to get these guys to dress up behind their buildings
Yeah,
and
that
put
was,
parking in there.
that was a
And then-
plan to do.
Well, I'm just thinking about what happened in the town I was in.
Right.
They ended up putting entrances in the back of the building.
Yeah.
So you
Right.
get to Gianni Figs from the back of the building or the front of the building, and you could park back there.
Yeah.
So what it did is it alleviated the parking problem. And not only that, right behind that is the
Stretched it out.
Leary lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's like you could have,
Yeah.
like
Right.
maybe 3 or 4 parking spaces behind one building or whatever you can get in there. And then the other part of it, but you're gonna have to also deal with whoever's living above
Yeah,
there.
how do residents like that?
Yeah. Let's see.
Are there going to be handicap
Benefit
parking
for
spots on
everybody
Elm
there.
Street?
That's pretty good for, oh, I'm sorry, Pam.
What
Are
was
there
that?
going to be handicap parking spots on Elm Street?
There will
Yeah.
be one, yeah. Well, actually, I think there might be two. One for sure will be
Should be
kind
one
of right
side.
by Hamshaw at the mid-block crosswalk.
Yeah,
That'll be a new thing, so it'll be right by that access. You could at least go to the south side a lot easier.
hmm. See,
But
for
it'll
me, I
most-
can't, I'd have to have handicap parking spot right near where I was going, so that's
Yeah.
gonna be hard,
That's
yeah.
too far.
Yeah, another one a little
And that's-
further down.
Should have
maybe
one
at
on
the
both
end.
sides of the street, actually.
Yeah.
On the south side, from what I asked, they weren't sure they could actually make it fit with the lanes and the actual like.
Cause it needs to be a
accessible
little larger,
pathway
yeah, cause you
to the
need both
side.
sides, right,
Yeah.
for getting out. in a
Right.
Yeah.
chair. Yeah,
Yep,
Yeah.
Right. Right.
yeah, it's not just like,
But there's none now, so I mean,
No.
at least it would
I know,
hopefully help
I know.
someone, get
Yep.
it across.
I'd
Yeah.
like to respond to something that you said a minute ago, Blake, about the reorientation. It's come up at a couple of meetings in the past, and the city of East Hampton completely redid all of the backside of the buildings on Ferry Street,
mhm.
where they have that little middle park,
Oh, the
whatever it's
river.
called, Middle River Park.
Oh,
But
Mhm.
they first put the park in, it was terrifying. I was working in East Hampton at the time.
mhm,
I was very familiar with that area because we used to film concerts in the park, and
mhm.
it was very dark. There was no, all the parking was, the parking area and the roads going behind those factory buildings they were all torn up. It looked like a war zone. And the one thing, by doing that one thing, by basically cleaning it all up, paving it and lighting it, all the businesses started to open up the backs of their buildings.
Oh.
And now there's several
great.
different businesses with outdoor
Yeah.
dining on the outside of the buildings, and it completely changed the relationship of the park and the
Right.
parking
That's
and
cool.
those buildings. But if that
It
happened
makes a
here,
difference.
it would integrate the Leary lot into the business.
Certainly
That's what we
would.
Which
thought
right now
of.
it's kind of like the Leary lot seems so far away.
Right.
It's 100 feet.
I know.
Sit in, I'm living up there, I don't want a lot of lights going in my windows, and
Yeah.
I mean, that's something you have to be really
But it's
sensitive
mainly
to.
just the facades of the buildings to look a little nicer
I
and not
agree
just
with
like a
that.
back of a building.
But you're right about it, it does
Yeah.
need to be lighted, so I feel comfortable walking
Yeah.
through those little areas.
The part of the lighting you can do is that you don't have to have like lights that are spreading outward. You just have lights that are
Going
hanging
down.
straight down,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which shouldn't interrupt somebody that's living on the second
Yeah.
floor of that place. Or
You know.
They have hoods.
Buy-in
They
from,
do have
we
hoods,
should really think
yeah.
about that,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
yeah, and not horrible
Well-
LEDs that blind you.
Right.
I think what you should do, right, you've got the option right now to talk to people there now,
Yeah.
because the Leary lot has
Yeah.
lights.
Yeah,
And see if any of that is bothering them, and if that's not, then you could make the lights, even if you
Similar.
put lights on the other side,
Yeah,
you could even put them on the same pole, but face them the other direction,
Right.
but down.
down.
Yeah.
And then that way,
Right.
people have that, there's enough light going into the building
so they might be
without
safer.
shining on the building.
Is
Yeah.
some space for like Giovanni's behind his.
Johnny
Sorry,
Figs.
Johnny,
Yeah.
there's a larger
Yeah.
lot there, and I think there's a lot stuff that gets overgrown too. It seems like it could get developed a little better and
Right.
organized, like you said, the parking and maybe these
Yeah.
businesses would dress up a little bit more. I mean, where's there one, two, there's 4 buildings and then that sideways one.
Yeah.
But it's a fairly good sized lot back there.
Is any of the grant money for streetscapes? There was one that did, I remember when I was in Greenfield,
Mhm.
there was one, I think it was streetscape. That's not what we're doing though. That did allow businesses to do, improve their facades,
Oh,
do the awnings, because everybody
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to have a little awning look fun.
Yeah.
yeah.
They're economic development grants usually.
I mean, that big
go
to make,
for.
and are you, I'm sorry to say you,
Go
because
for
I know
it.
we're all in this together, but
Good.
are we in conversation with the residents in those buildings now? Because that's
Yeah,
a good
we-
idea.
we-
Let's talk to them and see,
Yeah.
is
we
this
have
working
been.
in terms of light? Is this working? What would you
Well,
do if you could do
one of
this?
them. But
And
yeah,
I feel like they have like
I've
a
been
part.
starting to share some stuff on our website and
Well-
develop these little flyer things so people have my contact info and know about the project and
But they are sharing.
right.
Yeah.
They're parking in the Leary lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
People that are on the upstairs floors are parking in the Leary lot
Yeah.
because they don't have to go through the bumps and the
That's
ruts and
nice.
everything else to get
Yeah.
behind their buildings. And it's what, it's like an extra 10 feet for them to go and that's
Yeah.
it, so.
you gotta put this on field now when you're ready.
Some in
Yeah.
behind there,
Oh, yeah,
some
we can.
dumpsters and
It's-
stuff.
yeah.
I've accidentally
Yeah,
gotten
for
stuck
sure.
back
A
there.
lot with a lot of what we talked about tonight, because people will go like, hi, I don't understand. But you know, get it started.
Yeah.
So in interest
Sounds a lot
of time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 minutes left.
2
Is-
minutes.
Is there anything that we can do?
Yeah.
Oh, for the-
Are we just going to sacrifice this $300,000?
No, I don't, we're not gonna sacrifice, I mean, I have no doubt that, I mean, the money just doesn't disappear, it just goes back into the fund and we ask for it again. But we need to just, really it's a matter of getting the information from the designers, the engineers. And as soon as we have that, we have dates kind of set up to go, meet with DOT,
What's the actual on the ground common?
because it has to do with the crosswalks. And what we're gonna do, and are we doing that or are they doing that? And we really need to flush out that plan.
Well-
Who owns that? And who's gonna do the crosswalk work? Cause that's a lot of money.
Weren't you gonna expand that, the thing, even if you don't get Park Street, weren't you still gonna expand the?
Very little.
It would
We
have
didn't
been,
have
well,
much
you're
of that
talking about taking up the
space on
parking
that side.
spots on the Park Street side to expand it
Not,
out to.
not in this
No.
one,
No.
the parking, just the 3 that are by Primos.
Yep, that kind of went
That
out
one,
that way. a
probably
little
8
bit.
feet, I think.
Yeah.
But nothing like expanding over onto Park Street
No.
and just take those parking spots.
We were gonna do temporary edge curbing that could be easily removed if we could expand into that.
We really wanted Park Street because it would just add so much to the center of town,
Well,
but
the biggest problem that,
It's
and
just the
you and I've
trucks.
talked it, is
Yeah.
that you can't get people down that intersection.
I
And it's
know.
a bad intersection to begin with, but when you try to get a truck that went up Park Street,
Yeah,
now gotta go up and
Wait,
take a
wait,
right.
You're saying that the problem is that the 4 corners?
yes,
If you didn't have the trolley cut off,
right.
the only reason that angle is there is because the trolley couldn't make a right turn, it couldn't make
Yeah.
a 90
And
degree
then-
turn.
Same with
And
the
then
trucks.
that remnant of the trolley days became a runway onto North Main Street. But the solution
Right.
to the problem that you're raising is to have everybody come on the main road, on the 116 cut through or whatever it is, connector, and 5 and 10. The trucks can all manage that fine. The trucks shouldn't be in the center of town. They don't need to be. They just, they
But
just
they
do
are.
it because.
But they are
it's-
going in the center of town,
Right,
and
but
they're
they
going
won't be
over
able-
hillside.
But they won't be able to come through the center of town once it's a 4 corner.
Agree with
But they
that.
can handle the 4 corners. I mean, they can go straight, but they just have to start on the 116 cutover instead of on Sugar
What's it
Street.
cut, what's the 116 cut over?
It's the,
The 116 bypass
Dilly
from
dilly.
Sunderland over to 5 and 10.
That's just 116.
Well,
It's a bypass because 116 used to go through the center of town.
yeah,
Right.
That's why we have all this-
Well, it used to be 116.
that's why the
Okay, I
state
see what
owns
you
it.
mean.
That's why the
Gotcha.
state owns it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But
How
you
many
can-
trucks go to, what's it called? The old Hardick, what's it called now? I
Pelican.
forget.
Pelican.
Pelican.
Pelican. How many trucks come through town to go to that?
A ton.
Quite
Yeah.
a few.
And then they all go to Frontier too to deliver
Right.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they can't make that turn around the common.
No.
That would be really hard. They'd have to go on the bypass and come down come
Correct.
into town on South Main and go straight.
But
Correct.
the thing is,
Can't they just-
the blessing in all of this is that whoever designed it originally designed it with that intention. The turn on 116, coming on the bypass onto South Main Street,
Yep.
it's wide, so the trucks can make that turn really easily.
Exactly.
So I think the only thing that you would probably need to do to make that happen would be to make sure there's signs that say no trucks on this road.
Well, there's also,
Another,
I mean,
and also talk to the businesses to
that's,
make sure their vendors understand that
that's
they bought
at
it.
the end of that road is not a great place to come out of either with a truck.
What, Park Street right here?
No, if you go up
Down.
Sugarloaf, up South Main
Up over the bridge.
and you get up
Yeah.
top there,
It's not
they
great.
need to pull out that. If you're gonna do all that truck traffic, you gotta pull out that island because
Right.
it's
It's
hard
bad.
to get
Yeah.
a truck in that turn. And then it's difficult for trucks to get out of South Main onto. It's just not great visible spot
On the
there.
116.
Onto 116 from South Main.
Well,
Is it
Right.
because of the trees? Is that
It's
part of
just
the
the road
Yeah,
is
it's
like
like
such a
kind of a hill.
crown right there,
Yeah.
really hard. And
Right.
that's why we're trying to get DEDIC to open up their lot because all the trucks come out on the other side of that intersection down a little bit. They come out, I
Long
forget,
Pine.
Pine
Pine
Street.
Street, and
Yeah.
it's just, and then if you get two trucks coming at once, they're
Oh,
backing up in that little neighborhood. People who live there and their kids are call me and they're like, why are these trucks all backing up? And I'm like, because it is still town to
It
Deerfield
is.
there.
Right.
Everyone thinks it's Whately, but
We
it's not.
We
It's
don't own that
Deerfield.
much real estate, but it's just
But
enough
it's
for
the-
people to complain.
Yes, that's right. And so we really want to open up the DEDIC, so those
Right.
trucks in Whately's, industrial park can come out and put a light there. So
Yeah.
there's a lot
It's
of,
an awful lot.
there's
There's
an
a lot
awful
of
lot
moving
going
parts.
on.
But our
Yeah.
engineers are looking at designing it so that there are turn widths enough for
Mhm.
big truck and trailer traffic. Because you're still always gonna have like RVs and
Yeah.
boats, and
Right.
we do need, our businesses need
Access to
services.
truck.
Oh,
Yeah.
like to sell back. So
Yeah.
Be a softer
So-
curve at the edges.
well, or maybe we reallocate where the center line is. Maybe you
Mhm.
get rid of some parking here or sacrifice it and maybe make a right turn lane
Well, the
so
other
that a
thing-
truck could do it. I mean, there's a lot of options, I think, because of how much asphalt there is just
Yeah.
down there anyway. Maybe we just reallocate it so
Well,
that it's
one thing
it's
that came up, I don't know whether this is in the planning at this point or not, but it was definitely not only DOT that didn't want the parking on Park Street and on the common. It's just not a safe thing to have parking on a
yeah,
common,
visibility.
especially a small one.
Yeah.
Right.
Because just having kids on the common was a nightmare when my kids were little.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Scary.
Yeah.
Scary. They're jumping out of
That's why I
Cheslets in
joined-
between two parked cars.
I know. Yeah.
Across the street. It's frightening.
It's awful. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Definitely is a tight area completely.
Yeah.
Both
Yeah.
sides. of it.
And then you get all the kids coming out of school, brand new drivers, they're all
Right.
and they're impatient because they've been waiting so long to get to the light, and it's just not a great.
Jeez, they gotta move
System.
to California. That's why-
Yeah. So anyway,
You
there's a lot more
just
engineers.
go to
Yeah.
Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go to Boston.
But I figured we could fill an
We can
hour
all
easily with
very
just
well,
preliminary
thank you.
designs, and then this is my like,
Well,
hi, it's nice to meet you all, because also
Yeah.
I just haven't
Yeah.
met with this
Yeah.
committee yet. It's like one of the last of the list of 20.
That's right.
You are so
I figured-
Yeah.
having this
Okay.
information is
Right?
and someone advocating and talking to the businesses and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
residents so important. So
It is
thank you.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Ton of work.
and if you guys hear them, point them my way, share
Yeah.
my info out, please. Like,
Yep.
definitely still, there's a lot of people, packed in these areas. So
Yeah.
the more the word's out, the better. So I'll be back and asking for more info.
Yeah.
I think, I'm sorry,
No,
getting this out would make people feel really good.
Yeah.
I didn't know this, and I think,
Yeah.
you'll hear a lot of like, it's too big, it's too blah, 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 but I think people will feel like, wow, something's really happening.
The former Cumberland site, so it went through site plan review of the planning
Yeah.
board a few weeks ago, and it did have the legal notices and stuff they
Yes,
require, and then the next one is just for the special permit parking, but they voted in the site plan review, and we knew we needed to come back and do the special permit process. It's
Yeah.
just to formalize the parking restriction and stuff, and not restriction, but the parking on the other parcel. They'll be deed restricted and recorded, and in perpetuity, so.
They're waiting for the existing buildings report card of health of like what's in there before they can crush it. So
Yeah.
I told them to put, once they know what day they're gonna do it, just put a note on Deerfield Now or something.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of kids want to see that.
Yeah.
happen. And everybody, I think, wants to see that thing come down. Exactly.
Yeah.
So what was that before Cumberland Farms?
It was,
It was that brick building, what is?
Oh,
I've
yeah.
got pictures
Oh,
of
the
it.
gas
It was a
station.
gas station.
Oh, but, yeah.
After
when it-
the-
that was
After
the
that
problem
one.
with it.
So speaking
No,
of
Cumberland
gas,
had gas there too, but there was a guy there that did repairs, had a tow truck, the whole bit, and had the pumps out in the front of
Yeah.
it. And then
Yeah.
Cumberland came in and renovated the whole thing, and it was the best thing the town ever had.
yeah.
Just thought I'd let you know that at one point, it was the best thing.
that was the meeting place for all the kids in
Oh,
town. They all
absolutely.
go there and, get
Yeah.
their stuff.
Yeah.
I have a question about the redevelopment of that piece of property in terms of the soil remediation.
Mhm.
Is that something that was done when they first
Yes.
closed everything down?
It is, yeah, they dug
So-
out the tanks and cleaned all the soil and.
DEP has cleared it
Yeah,
all,
it's
and they'll still
absolutely-
need to work with them a
Yeah.
little bit, to make sure there's.
So when are
cracks
they
and
planning
stuff,
to
but-
actually start construction?
Yeah.
I think they'll be done before we start on
Yeah,
the street,
they're
in my
putting the
opinion.
foundation.
This,
That's exciting.
They're like ready to rock.
Yeah,
but-
as soon as they get
So-
the door of the house.
Like the way it is now.
Yeah.
So the
it'll-
demolition will.
5 years now, right?
Not even.
Yeah,
mean, it
they
would
could do
happen
demo
next week.
before, right?
As soon as they get the okay that there's no asbestos or something like that in the
Yeah.
building, they're gonna take it out and then they're gonna excavate it and put a foundation in, I would say, very fast.
Well, the
So
superstructure with the
that's-
machine they have would be gone in one day.
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
be
One
pretty
day.
quick,
One day.
half a day.
Be something to see.
That is
Yeah,
something
I know all the
really
kids
nice.
Now, make sure they,
Excited it was.
just make sure they clean it all up.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
Okay, next steps for us.
All right, so,
Well, I'll come back.
yeah, and
That's
we have,
mostly the main stuff, I think,
Alex.
probably.
And-
Alex.
as soon as we.
Everything hinges on you.
Yeah, and as soon as we
Okay.
get some
I'm good at
data from the engineers, we can.
Yeah, we can
Have a
send out an
meeting
update or.
So
yeah.
probably in the spring. That's
Well,
expected.
I mean, I hope
or-
January,
We
February.
can, yeah.
Okay,
This
so
way,
we'll put
That
regroup
way-
after holidays.
yeah,
Well, and we're gonna do a bunch of other just public outreach stuff too, so like, hopefully you all come to some of that stuff
Yeah.
too when we're ready for it. Unless we want to coincide it with a meeting, we can do that too.
yeah.
I have just a suggestion in terms of whenever we meet next, whether you're coming to that meeting or not. I think it will really behoove us to prioritize of the million and one things that we all have wanted to do, which ones should really happen absolutely, and which
Mhm.
optional, and which
Yeah, we
things,
can do that.
because that would be helpful for whoever is doing the final
Sure.
to have that.
Yeah, like
really
the irrigation you
figured out.
mentioned today is like very
Yeah, because
important.
that was really, I felt like that really got kind of forgotten.
Yeah,
It's an important piece.
it is. For sure.
Yeah, because I think we'd probably like prioritize and then also re-engage with Berkshire.
Yes.
To like make sure all these things are flowing. There are a lot of utilities and access points and
There
stuff.
are,
So
yeah.
before we move anything on there, we'd want to make sure it.
Plus, we
Right.
sold that. I'm very cognizant that we sold that at
We
town
did.
meetings
We
and at our
did.
previous meetings. So
We
like,
did.
we got buy-in, we
We're fine.
elicited feedback, so I don't think we should make massive changes unless
Right.
we're gonna
No.
do that again.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, but
That's-
infrastructure like irrigation makes sense and yeah, I think we even.
And that's in
wanted
there,
that. We
that's-
wanted
yeah.
that, yeah.
To your point, if we do want to change anything from the plan, how does that impact the vote that took place already? Is there some wiggle room, or is there, it's like it has to
No,
be
we've got-
exactly this?
It doesn't have to be exactly that. I think not at all. I think we would want to update people again. I think my guess is we may have to come and ask for that money again unless we can get something pulled off, construction started before
Right.
Yeah.
June. We may have to plan, like, I'll keep an eye on that as we're budgeting and as town meeting comes along, if we don't see any movement through DOT and stuff, we may, I'll work on getting that on the annual town meeting. I'll notify Kathy Sylvester and CPC that, hey, or CPA that we were, we're very close, but we may need another extension if you'll give it. If not, you can let it lapse and we're gonna come right back this spring and ask for it
In your
again.
proposal.
Yeah, you know, if it lapses, we may even ask for it again before it lapses, you know,
Right.
well,
Mhm.
moved to May now instead of April 30th or
Right.
last Monday of April, it'll be the second Monday of, I think it's a Monday.
The
right?
second Monday?
Yeah,
May
and then the
2nd.
election
That's what
is
it
the
is.
following
Tuesday,
Tuesday,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're pushing things out a little bit to allow us a little more time.
But this would be a second extension for the.
Or would it be a
Is
second
that allowed?
extension?
I don't even remember if they're.
I
I don't
can't
think they can
remember.
do it
Find that it's
second.
not allowed.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah, you forwarded me,
Yeah.
she said you can ask for another. so.
Right.
Yeah, I think
whether
pretty
they'll
much.
give it.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
the town is all very excited for
Yeah,
it, right?
they're
Like, I
definitely
mean,
excited for all that we're doing downtown, so I don't think they're.
and it is like accruing interest and stuff, like, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like
We
it's
haven't-
pulled out and
Yes.
it's not accruing interest, just like the
Yeah.
rest of the
That's good,
fund
yeah.
is. Like, it is still.
Because I wasn't here when this happened.
Yeah.
What was the money slated for?
For-
To actually do the work on the
Yes,
common itself?
exactly. Yeah, with
To do that.
300,
Yes,
Can you start that work before you get answers from DOT and stuff? Because it looks like you're almost in the footprint.
Yeah, the issue was that we could do some
We
things on
talked
it.
about
We
doing.
talked about
plans,
starting a little bit,
plans,
yeah. It
Getting
was
some
really,
recommendations for benches and get 4 benches.
Yeah.
on there. So it looks like we're doing
the
something. and that will
problem
be-
was the crosswalks and making sure we knew exactly where those needed to be. That was where we thought, and then they said, no, that's too long.
Yeah.
So I'll find
But-
that plan from Bow as well. I'll hunt that down somewhere because he had a little sketch.
When you say it's too long, you're talking about this one
Yeah,
here?
that one there, and then the other one across was too long.
I
Yep.
thought that was already figured out. Somebody said, I don't know, maybe it wasn't voted on or anything, but somebody said that the solution to that would be to just bump it out here so that Graves has a wider, so that the crosswalk is short.
Yeah, that was, I think, Bow's plan. You might be referring to Bow's plan
Mhm.
because we both saw that at a meeting, and I just got to find it. Maybe it's
Yeah.
in that binder. If
I'll have to
not,
look.
I'll track it down. But you're right, Greg. It was like, okay, then he had showed bump outs into the road
Yeah,
right
I
around
remember seeing that.
Graves, and then there were some others as well that we bumped out. I
Right.
want to take more of that sea of asphalt too for the common. You know, just to
Yeah.
grow that whole thing would be great.
But we could put some irrigation in potentially.
Right?
Start construction.
Exactly. You could
But
do
if we don't know
something.
where our
Remember-
pathways are gonna go.
I know, that
that's-
was the key.
But irrigation's
can figure
relatively
it
out.
expensive.
And movable.
If you have to
Yeah.
move it, it's that
I-
hard.
I'll
Once you get
talk
a
to
few
Kathy.
sprinklers.
I mean,
And go to one of their
They
meetings
were
this
bumping
winter.
forward.
We're not talking about the fountain. I'm just talking about landscape
Yeah.
irrigation.
Yeah,
That is a
the
whole
fountain.
animal.
Yeah.
We're
But we
keeping
already
the fountain.
So,
We
yeah.
already argued that for 5 years.
We
you know?
did.
What's the story? What's the story on the phone?
Well, we probably need another
Love it,
meeting.
or-
for all
it is-
that.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is that we
did
elicited
all
a
this.
ton of feedback on the
Yeah.
fountain, came up with a design plan, presented it to the town, and I cannot do another 3
Yeah.
years of arguing about the freaking fountain.
Right.
Can't.
Yes.
What do they, what's the,
Some people want it updated, some people don't want it changed at all. It's you're either one or the other.
Yeah, exactly.
But when I look at that, that's just way too much hardscaping for me now, but time has gone by and I'm seeing things differently. The world has changed, the environment's changed, and that's gonna be so, so hot. And I thought that the last time we had talked about, we'll leave the beautiful little fountain, actual, the part that the water comes out of, I don't know what you call them.
Yeah.
Because that was kind of like what we had originally, and that's, you can find that in other towns around here.
You can,
And maybe we can even leave the rest of it the same, but we want to take off the dragon teeth.
maybe. Yeah, for sure. I think
Well,
we
it,
would get
that had a whole purpose to that I
I
think
know.
if we're gonna change it, we should at least revisit, because it was meant to be a gathering space,
It
there was
was.
meant to
Right.
be the
It
microphone
was.
stand there.
Yes,
There was
exactly.
seating around, so it was
Yeah.
to address
It made.
I know.
congregating.
Yep.
So,
I mean, it looks bad because we haven't closed off Park Street yet.
That's right.
yeah,
That's right.
all agree. All right,
Yeah.
so-
Right,
what
motion
we're
to
gonna
adjourn.
happens, that would be
Seconded.
fine.
All right.
Okay,
All right.
thank you very much.
Thank you all. It was
Good
really
meeting.
good to see
Thank you,
again.
Pam. Nice to meet you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Bye,
thanks, Pam.
Pam.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.
Bye.
so we'll have a meeting sometime in January, February.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think
for
that
sure.
makes sense.
Very nice.
Yep.
Great.
Right.
Great to see you all enjoy your turkey day.
Yeah, bye, get out of here, go. Bye, guys.
Makes you feel
I'm just
better.
gonna take a photo, okay?
We're talking about this
if you
since
want.
I've
Oh,
been
come on.
trying to-
Take it. Okay. I've got extra.
I remember the places, you know, the ice that was built up on the thing in the wintertime that.
I
mean,
love
go up
it.
Yeah,
20 feet in the air.
I love that.
It was amazing. And then they put lights in there so that they colored it in the winter so that
Yeah.
those lights would come on
I
different
love
colors
it.
and stuff. It was.
Did you notice it didn't freeze very much last year at all? Like only towards like the very end of winter.
Yeah. We're looking at it again now. I'm looking at the same pattern because we're not
supposed to
getting
have
snow.
that adventure.
Right?
Yeah, I just saw it too. Some Arctic change, something changed in the Arctic and now there's an opening and we're gonna get all of the cold air from
I saw
Canada.
the polar vortex.
Yeah, it changed.
Another one.
Denise, Denise,
So much, we're really glad you're here.
Honestly, Alex, you are really gonna help us get this together.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's Groundhog Day for this meeting over and over again.
Yeah, a friend of mine, for the past 15 years, he's, every time we talk about anything to do with the town, he says, what this town needs is a town planner.
Yeah.
Until we have a planner, none of this stuff is gonna happen. All these volunteers know so much, not gonna happen if we don't have a plan. So,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, here,
In any
Yeah.
organization type.
Really good. Howard, thanks a lot. You've done a lot. Thanks a lot. You're in a good meeting.
Sorry, Pam. Goodbye.
And I talked